On February 2nd, 2023, we at auction house Künker will offer the Stefan Widegren collection of Swedish coins in auction 380. It is a very special ensemble. At this point, we want to present some of its rarities. Let's begin with the first gold coin of Sweden. It was minted on behalf of Eric XIV, but we don't know why, although its reverse might give us a little hint. It features Eric's impresa, a combination of an allegoric badge and a motto. Its translation reads, "God gives to whom he wills." The image conveys the same message. A scepter comes down from heaven to the waiting king. This recalls the fact that Eric was the first Swedish ruler not to be elected but to inherit his power. Much to the annoyance of his brothers, they rebelled. Did Eric order these gold coins in 1568 to buy loyalty? If that was the case, the coins did not arrive in time. He got them just a few days before his brother imprisoned him. Only 3 specimens of this coin type are available on the market today. The major part of the issue was melted down. Another extremely rare piece is this magnificent gold coin of 15.20 gram. With its weight, it could be a double rose noble or a half Portugalesa. However, this coin was never supposed to be used in the trade, but as a diplomatic gift. It features Eric's successor, his brother John III. Around him we can see the coats of arms of all Swedish territories. They were rather new at the time. John's predecessor Eric had introduced and used them to underline the importance of the dynasty's founder Gustav Vasa. That's why we can also find these coats of arms on Gustav Vasa's tomb. This coin depicts Charles IX, the brother of John III. He was the first Swedish king to have a systematic coin collection built up. The reason for this was the dispute over the 3 crowns depicted on the Swedish coat of arms. Since the 14th century, they represented the rule over the Swedish, Goths, and Wends. Well, the Danish king Christian III also laid claim to these 3 crowns in his coat of arms. Charles IX couldn't accept that, so he ordered his genealogist to systematically collect old coins to document that the Swedish claim to these coats of arms was older than that of the Danes. Although the coin depicts the Swedish king Gustav II Adolf, it was not minted in Sweden. We have arrived in the midst of the 30 Years' War after the Bishop of Mainz had fled his residence, the city of Mainz had surrendered, and the Swedish troops had marched into the city on 23 December 1631. Gustav Adolf was in urgent need of money to pay his soldiers. That's why he showed mercy. He granted religious tolerance and did not authorize the sack of Mainz, but made the city pay an enormous sum instead, which permanently damaged Mainz's economy. This 5-fold ducat was probably made of gold that had previously been part of a monstrance or a gilt vessel. Daniel Eyre, the mintmaster of the escaped archbishop, was responsible for the production of the coin. This is shown by the small symbol at the top left. It's the alchemistic symbol for Mercury, which Eyre used as his mint mark. This coin was commissioned by a highly unconventional woman, by Christina, the heir to the throne of Gustav Adolf. She took over the rule of Sweden on her 18th birthday in 1644. Nevertheless, the coin was not minted there, but in Riga, which was under Swedish control from 1621 to 1710. Despite her young age, Christina had a clear political vision. This is also reflected by her coin. Her portrait is framed by a laurel and a palm branch, symbolizing victory and peace. In fact, Christina sent her own envoy to the negotiations in Osnabrück to ensure that peace would be concluded as soon as possible. And thus, this coin of 1646 celebrates her as a victorious queen with a firm intention of soon bringing peace to the Holy Roman Empire. What we see here is actually a coin, namely the second largest historical coin in the world. It is made of copper and has a weight of 14.5 kilograms. This roughly corresponds to the weight of a 3-year-old child. This type of Swedish coinage is referred to as plate money. Our specimen corresponds to 8 silver dollars, as can be read on the middle die. It was produced in Avesta, where the copper that had been mined in Falun was smelted and cast into ingots. As Sweden was rich in copper, but short of silver, the country started to mint such copper money in 1644. It was of limited use as a means of payment, but it was a perfect store of value. After all, when the price of copper rose, plate money could even be sold above face value. In that case, the copper plate was of course melted down, which is the reason why Swedish plate money is so rare. This coin shows the man under whom the Swedish lost their position as a leading power in Europe, and who was considered a hero by his contemporaries nevertheless. Charles XII was not even 18 years old when Denmark, Saxony and Russia allied to divide Sweden's territories on the mainland among them. Charles XII waged a heroic war that exceeded Sweden's financial means and ruined the country. Of course, this gold coin doesn't tell this story. It was minted just a few months before Charles XII died. Although the initials of mint master Lorenz Karelberg can be seen on the reverse, the dies were created by one of the most important engravers of his time, by the Swiss Johann Karl Hedlinger. He joined the Swedish on 18 September 1718. The coin shows Charles XII as a soldier, without an elaborate Baroque wig. Charles himself stipulated that his own hair should be depicted on the coins. But only a few weeks after the coin was minted, Charles XII was already dead, shot during the siege of Fredriksten. This ducat was created in 1746, not on behalf of the king, but because the Swedish East India Company could not sell the gold they imported from China elsewhere. We know this from a letter written by the Dutch merchant Andreas Jacobus Flanderi. The gold was brought to the Royal Swedish Mint and transformed into ducats. They all feature a rising sun on the reverse, referring to the gold's origin in the East. By the way, it was not unusual for a state mint to accept private commissions at the time. Anyone could bring gold and silver to the mint to have it turned into coins for a fee. There are many more interesting things to tell about the coins from the Widegren collection. We certainly recommend you browse through Catalog 380 yourself. There you will also find information on the collector Stefan Widegren, who hopes that everyone who acquires one of his pieces may enjoy them as much as he did for many decades. We at Auction House Künker would be glad if this film made you a little curious. We would be delighted if you took part in the Berlin auction sales on February 2nd, 2023. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us.